bad things are happening a little bit at a time, which means something big is going to happen. Like in Florida, there's no people working in the fields because the immigrants, people that don't have green cards, don't want to get deported. So all over, I guess TikTok and YouTube, on the shorts, they're showing work sites where there's usually a lot of Mexicans and a lot of these tribes working, and they're not there. So that means that they're not making money. And if they're not making money, you know, they're not going to be getting paid. Just imagine if this place, nobody was working, like it stayed like that. Okay. And we're going to go This is Isaiah 47, and it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So what that means is, it's never been attacked or harassed. But guess what? People are getting sick and tired of it being Babylon, America being Babylon. So they're moving away. So this is Revelation 18, and I'm gonna start at 1. "And after these signs I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." So that angel, the angel is Yahawashi. So when people look at Jesus, they usually see a white person, but Jesus looks more like those two gentlemen right there. See, he's a dark-skinned man. And what happens with dark-skinned men? They stay out in the sun. We just get darker. But the devil, he gets sunburns, and he gets cancer. Dude, you want a water? And he gets sick. But he's gonna get sick in the head because he doesn't have anybody to work for him anymore. So what's gonna happen? There was a time where eggs were $17 for 30, and that happened about a couple of months ago. But there was something that went wrong in the economy, so they had to kill chickens in 2020 because of the pandemic, and that resulted in less chickens laying eggs, less eggs, and less this and that, so the demand went up. So what happens with the dollar is called inflation, and inflation is based upon, do I have enough of the products to sell at the price that I was selling it for? So before, let's say a 24 pack of, let's say a 30 pack of eggs was $5. Now it's 7, but it was 17, so it keeps going up and down. So these people right here in Florida, they're not working, so the economy in Florida is going to fluctuate. So if there's no people working the fields, like I seen white people working fields, and there was a meme or this one short clip, and this white man tried to do the job of a Mexican, and he was picking oranges, and he only got 3 bins full. I mean 2.5 bins. So he would get paid $28 for a bin. So he took 10 hours of his day to fill up 2.5 bins. So he only got 50 fucking dollars. Your grandfather, my dad, used to work in the tomato fields, and it was the same thing. And he used to carry 5-gallon buckets of tomatoes, 2 at his hand, climbing up a ladder, dumping them in the truck. You know how heavy 5 gallons of bucket is? Water. Let's say it's just water. That's each gallon of water weighs, I think, 8 pounds. So there's 5 gallons. That's 40-some pounds. And he would do that, and they would drink beer, smoke cigarettes. But the white man can't do 2 bins. Then he said, I can't see any white person doing this job unless they're getting paid $30 an hour. But the job is not about getting paid an hour. It's getting paid by how much you do. So this is Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become a habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So that's when the missiles hit, and it dries up, and it becomes a desert. But it has to start somewhere. How's that going to start? They're not going to be able to pay back their debtors, because they have a credit-based system. So they took out a loan to plant all those orchards. Not even that. The buildings, they have a loan. They have a loan on this building, and it has to get done because they're going to start paying that mortgage. Every building that you see not getting built in Florida is a foreclosure waiting to happen. They're not moving on time, they're not moving on pace. You know what happens when someone's late? They get in trouble, right? Get in trouble. Well, the devil wants his money too. You know, he wants his money. And he's gonna get it one way or another. This is the good part right here. Revelation 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. But that's going to stop right now. And the fornication between the kings of the earth and the merchants and the beast is just what I'm trying to explain to you. See, so they have buildings that are needed to get built so that they can make money. Because those buildings are supposed to be functioning for somebody's business. Those orchards are somebody's business. They're gonna have to leave some shit on the branches. Now, in righteous times, whatever couldn't get harvested was given to the poor people. You think this guy, the devil's gonna do that? No, he's not. But we got to get prepared for what's coming. So if I know something bad's gonna happen and I don't tell you, and you two get hurt, whose fault is it? Mine, because I knew what was gonna happen, right? So what I'm trying to say is, to those people on YouTube, I'm telling you that something bad's gonna happen. And there's no workers in Florida because they're trying to pass these laws where they don't want Mexicans in the fucking land or whatever. But this land was all Mexico before. All of it. And then what happened? And then Joe Byron and his clan, his people like that, the devil. And there's a difference between, because Benjamin Franklin knew there was a difference between a real white man and a German and a Portuguese and a Spanish. Because Spain and all of Europe was conquered by these people. There was a bunch of black people went up into Europe and said, damn, I like these white women. But there's a problem, there's a bunch of white men. Oh, let's kill them. And they did. and then they took the white women, and then the black men started having lighter skinned babies. Until one day, it only takes 2 generations until one day there was no more black people there, but not because that they got killed off or anything, but because they turned light side. So when these people turned, they were still dark people, but Benjamin Franklin knew, hey, these people ain't really white. So what he did was him and a bunch of other real racist white people came up with a book. Well, they did a lot of studying and they passed it on, and then one devil made a book, and it's called, I don't know what it's called, but it said that it describes that who's who based on their ancestors. So those people that came over here were devils, like Christopher Columbus, George Washington, and Benjamin Franklin, all those queers. But they also brought people that were Negroes from descent, but they thought that they were white because history went on and they stopped talking about it. And what happens is when you take away the father from a family situation, you stop learning. Like, how would you know that you're supposed to do this if I didn't tell you you're supposed to do this? Right? How would you know to get up for school if your mom and me didn't wake you up for school? You wouldn't have those rules and you wouldn't have that history. So now, going back to Florida, the white people that stayed there that are kicking these people out, they're kicking them out because they're racist and they know who they are, and they want to hurt us. They want to see us get poor and not have anything. Now all that's based upon prophecy, because there has to be something called the mark of the beast. Now that's going to be real scary, but first let's talk about how this country is going to go down. So right now, if you read this again, Revelation 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So the wine of her wrath is the political point of view that this country has. Like this country has a political point of view where if, let's say, and it might not be true around here, but it is true. Let's say there's a group of you kids going to school and you're all in kindergarten, and the teacher in the kindergarten says it's okay to feel different, and then she says we're gonna have someone special come and read you a book, but it's a man wearing a dress, wearing lipstick, having fake boobs, and that person's gonna tell you stuff like it's okay to be different, but it's not. You have a dick, you're a man. If you have a pussy, you're a woman. There's no in between. So these devils make things up like, oh, there's an extra gender. No, there's not. In plants maybe. That's because of a lot of mixing, but not in human beings. And then they'll say stuff like, well, what about the hyena? Because the female hyena has a fake dick. And that's a whole disgusting thing. That's why when someone calls you a hyena, that's a bad thing. But going back to the economics, so now you know who's in charge, right? It's Satan. And the wrath of the fornication is all the business that they do. So they'll travel around and put up bases in different countries, and then they'll start having people from here with these ideas move to that base, and then they'll pay them this money living in a country like Egypt, and then they'll have a nice home and everything, but the Egyptians have a shitty home. So they're placing a caste system where some people are better than others because they work for the beast. Now what that's going to do is that's going to create people like that to have more. They'll have more food, they'll have a better house, they'll have a better job, they'll have more money, they'll have better everything. And then it'll make the people that don't have anything want to have it. So they'll say, well, how can I get it? And that's how the fornication of the merchants work. Like the wrath of fornication is, you can have this American dream too, just, follow these rules. And it'll be so bad that they'll, like shit right now. These tribes right here, these people right here, they're in broken homes. So there's no father in their homes. And if there's no father figure in the homes, the boys usually end up doing crazy things. So what if the boys grew up and try to be like ladies? Then there would be no more men, no more real men. And that's the problem that's going on in this country right here. Because it keeps on saying, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So there's other countries that are allowing this kind of behavior. So the big thing about it is, some countries don't allow homosexuality, like Ghana in Africa. And they have certain rules that are against the rules of Babylon. Now that reason is because those people are these people. They're Israelites, and they believe this. Oh, and there's actually communities in Africa that are Hebrew Israelites. There's signs in Hebrew. The whole city is based on Hebrew. They follow the Sabbath on the new moon. They do stuff like that. So we still exist. So how can you say that these people are just doing what's not natural? So they have rules, and they'll say stuff like, oh, it's natural for guys to have sex with each other. No, it's not. It's natural for a man to want to have sex with a woman. Maybe 2 women. Maybe 3 women. 4 wives. If you can take care of it, those kids, then you've got it, then you go ahead. But in this day and age, it's not recommended. Because these women are fucked up in the head. Like if you tell them, look, you stepped on my shoe, they'll say, oh, no, I didn't. Bitch, your fucking shoe prints are on my shoe. Oh, that's not me. But they know that they did it, and they even went like this. And they'll still say they didn't. That's called delusion. And it has to do with hypocrisy. So this country right here is a hypocrite. They have people that are in high positions doing nasty things with kids. So they'll pass laws saying that it's okay for a pedophile to be a preschool teacher. Now that's going on. Shouldn't have that. But this country believes it, and they'll pass on that kind of information onto different countries. But nobody wants to be like this country. I mean, not anymore. They're losing power. So now let's see. Let's say, okay. So now we're going back to 47. So this is Isaiah 47 and 2. Take the milestones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So all those things that are happening, there's 2 things that are happening in the 2 scriptures that I read. One, it says, keep working, keep doing what you're doing, like they're doing right now. Keep working, keep trying to make it. But I'm gonna, Yahawashi saying, my Father and me, we're gonna uncover all your shames. We're gonna uncover all your shames. And right now, one of them is the circle of pedophiles that got in the government, in high places. So that's one thing. Another one is gender reassignment. So these people, these dirty people, these Edomites, they'll pass a law where it says if a kindergarten feels like he's a woman, he's a girl, they'll pay for the surgery to have that kid cut off his dick and turn it into a vagina. Man cannot make a man into a woman, nor can a man make a woman into a man. It's not possible. They don't have that power. So now what do you think this guy's trying to do? He's trying to become God. So that's what he's doing, and that's why our God is going to uncover that. But here's why I'm doing it, and why I hope, you know, through all my humiliation and suffering and pains, I hope to be rescued. You know, he's gonna not only rescue, he's gonna rescue me, he's gonna rescue you because you're my family. He's gonna give me a new body, he's gonna give me superpowers, he's gonna give me a big giant spaceship, he's gonna give me planets, he's gonna give me races of people. He's gonna say, look, these people are yours. Do whatever you want with them. And I'm gonna make them build us our homes. You know? And then your jobs are gonna be to punish them. You're gonna have slaves too, you're gonna have a bunch of gold. I'm gonna have a blue diamond chariot. That's the color I want. I want blue diamond chariot. And then part of your job is, I'm gonna say every year, look, you guys gotta give me 100 grandkids every year. I might even say 100 grandsons, because the grandsons that you're gonna give me are gonna be like me and you. They're gonna have that power, and then nobody's gonna say, oh, you can't have more kids. Look at, there's a meme going around, but it's old. It's of Vegeta and Cell when they're fighting. And Cell's scared of Vegeta because Vegeta is a Super Saiyan. And then Vegeta says to Cell, look, you're afraid because of people like me, but I got some bad news for you. There's another like me, and that's my son. You know, there's two like me. So you're gonna make more like me, and then more like me, and then we're gonna take over the whole universe. So this thing is like a coal, piece of coal. The more pressure you put onto it, the more it'll change and turn into a diamond. So that's what's going on with you guys, and with me, and with these people. But not all of these people are going to make it, because some of these people are going to believe that lie. Oh, okay. If I subscribe to feminists, being a feminist, and we make these men regret being men, and that's going to pay off for me. But then you're going to get that payment here, and then you're going to feel bad in the kingdom. So let's get back to the scripture. So then the fourth one says, no, the third one says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So he's made up said, I'm not gonna come back as a man, because he was here as a man. He was here many times. He was Adam. He was King Solomon. He was Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl. He was many people throughout the world, but he was always an Israelite. And those people that got to see that version are all Israelites. So now let's talk about these people. See, so he's going to come back to save these people, but these people need to repent. And he's not going to save all of them. Because these people are the biggest groups in the world. There's a lot of them, like more than you can explain. But he only cares about these people. So let's see. He said he's not going to come back as a man. So I gotta get Revelation. Revelation 1 and 7. So Revelation is about Yahawashi revealing himself to his apostle John, and giving him this whole book, right? So the Apostle John lived to be 100 years old or 100 or more, but he was alive when Yahawashi was alive, and he lived to be 100, but he was in prison. He has to get punished. Like we all have to get punished. When we do something bad, we all have to get punished, right? If you don't get punished, you think everything's okay, right? And then something bad happens, and then you're like, well, why did this happen? I don't deserve it. Blah blah blah. But you do deserve it. Now, if you were to approach life in the well, whatever happens today was meant to happen because my God makes it happen. Now, these are all tests for us. Some of them are very real. You know, some of them hurt, but they're all tests. So he said he's going to come and get vengeance. So this is Revelation 1:7. This is what he said. This is the angel telling him, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen. So now, do you guys remember ever seeing UFOs? No, but you have. You were little. Remember one year it was Halloween, it was the night before Halloween, and we had a fire. Remember we used to do fires? And there was like a light going. And your mom saw it, and then everybody saw it, because we were talking about chariots. So you did, but you don't remember. Now, have you seen them? Yeah. I've seen them. I made videos about them. I have some of them on videos. Now we got to talk about how powerful these things are. So we're gonna go to 2 Kings. This is 19 and verse 35. And I always use this one because this is a perfect example. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord, Yahawashi, went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 180 and 5,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So, one angel in one chariot, probably the other one, killed 185,000 soldiers from the Assyrian army. Now, right now, you don't know who the Assyrian army is. But you already know? No? You think you know? Maybe? So the Assyrian army was one of the first people that came to take over these people. They took over these northern tribes. The reason why Yahawah sent the angel to kill those soldiers, because there was a general named Rawchaa, and he came to talk to the high priest, and all he did was insult us. We told him, look, stop right there. You can speak Aramaic. We speak Aramaic, and that was the language that the Hebrews created to speak to the officials that came to visit, or they had to go talk to, so that the Hebrew people wouldn't understand. But this guy said, no, I'm gonna talk to you in your native tongue, so that your men can hear and make their choice. So he fucked up once. That's our laws, and we told him what to do. He didn't apply them, so he said, fuck your God. That's one. And then he went on to say, told all of our people, no God can stop me doing what I want to do. I go through all these lands and tear down all their gods and take all the people. So he said, who's going to stop me, basically? And that's true, that's strike two. But then we don't need no more. So then what happened? I just read it to you. Now, this is a biblical account, but it's also a physical account. Because if you read the Wikipedia and whatever website they have this information on, it'll tell you that mysteriously 185,000 soldiers died, and then that's the reason why the king got assassinated by his two sons. But his two sons assassinated him because they were embarrassed of him. And they wanted to take power. See, that's how people act. Not our people, those people. So now we got, behold, he cometh with clouds. So that's a verb, that's a word that means more than one, right? So now we're going to get Matthew 24 and 30. Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So that's going to be the destruction, the beginning destruction of this place. So now we got to go back to why it's going to happen like that. Well, it said, the scripture said, those that pierced him. So those must be the Roman soldiers. So there has to be something called reincarnation. So we were alive before in these old times, and we were in those different captivities. And then we were brought here for the final captivity. And this is where we're going to learn our lesson, and this is where the end is going to happen. Well, the end of this world. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. See, so it's not that bad. It is bad, but it's not that bad. What I mean by that is, it is fucking bad. It's terrible. Let's say there's almost 8 billion people. After Yahawashi comes back and his father says, go and do what you gotta do, what I want you to do, there's only going to be the elect left, which is 144,000 plus the remnant, which will probably be about a couple of million. And then the people that are going to be left over as slaves. They don't count. Yahawah doesn't even count them. He doesn't count these people. He only counts me and you and you. He doesn't even count Isabel and my wife. He doesn't. That's what you're dealing with. That's why you are the way you are. And life is hard for people right now. Life is hard, man. There's men out there that don't get girlfriends. But you guys don't have to worry about it. I mean, I'm glad, aren't you? There's people out there that are fucking nerds. Like, they're trying real hard, but they're just fucking nerds. But you guys don't have to worry about that. Because my God loves you so much that he's going to give you some power. Shit. He loves us so much that he keeps us safe even when he's whooping our ass. Now, you got to understand what real love is, because love is when you hate somebody, actually. But you could hate somebody and not love them. That's real hate and rage. But hate is like, man, how come you didn't do the dishes? How come you didn't blah, blah, blah? And you think I hate you, but I don't. But God is different. Yahawah is different. He's like, man, I fucking hate you. You desired other gods and other things, and I've set you up with nice and pretty shit. Damn, how these people fucked you up. How these people fucking kill your wife and kill everybody. Man, you think that's what happens? That's what happens. So now I gotta get you another story, because that is what happens. there for. This is the book of Job, and this really happened. So it gives you the land of Uz, which is Iraq. So there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahawah and eschewed evil. So this man believed, and he followed the laws, and he did all those things. Verse 2, and there was born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. So he had a big family, right? His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. So that means that he was rich. He was rich and he had all these things. But guess what? And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day. Now his day, what do you think that means? What's your day? Huh? What's the day you were born? You remember the day, right? So that's why I don't celebrate your birthdays. That's why